Hello everyone, Infosec Pandey here and welcome back to the channel. Are you tired of scrolling through boring PDF random flashcard or those interview preparation blog that feels like they were written by a robot? Well, guess what? I built something that is actually fun and interactive. I created a cybersecurity interview presentation with 52 essential question and answers, and it is not just a boring slide deck. This thing is loaded with interactive features. So what is inside? So inside we have 52 questions divided into three categories: beginner, which have 19 questions; intermediate have 25 questions; and advanced have 8 questions. So in total 52 questions across 7 categories. So basically the Netflix of cyber interviews. So this is perfect if you are preparing for a cybersecurity interview, studying for certifications like Security Plus, CEH, CISSP, or any other alphabet soup, or you are running a team training session, or you just flexing your cyber knowledge at the office until HR tell you to stop. So let's check it out. So the first question we have: what is cybersecurity? So, cybersecurity is the practice of protecting system, network, and application from digital attacks. So, these attacks are usually aimed at stealing sensitive data, changing or corrupting information, extorting money through things like ransomware, or disrupting business operations. So, at the core of cybersecurity, we often talk about the CIA triad, and the CIA triad means confidentiality, so that making sure only authorized user can access information. For example, just like only I should be able to access my online banking account, not a hacker in another country. And the next one is integrity. So integrity is ensuring data remains accurate and trustworthy, like making sure someone can't alter medical record or exam result in a system. And the availability, making sure data and systems are accessible when needed. For instance, if an e-commerce site goes down during Black Friday, so that's a big cybersecurity issue because availability is lost. So in short, cybersecurity is about keeping information safe, accurate, and available while preventing an attacker from exploiting it. Next question is, what is CIA triad? So the CIA triad is the one of the fundamental model in the cybersecurity. So it stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And these three principles form the foundation of information security. So confidentiality mean the information should only be accessible to authorized individuals. For example, technique like encryption, access control, and authentication help ensure that sensitive data is not exposed to wrong people. Integrity ensures that data remains accurate, consistent, and unaltered unless changed by authorized methods. So common example include checksums, digital signatures, and version control systems, which help detect and prevent unauthorized modifications. Availability ensures that uh, information and systems are accessible when they are needed by authorized user. So this is often achieved through redundancy, backups, and disaster recovery plan to minimize downtime and service disruption. So in summary, the CIA triad provide the core principles to ensure information is protected, trustworthy, and available when required. Next one is, what is the difference between authentication and authorization? So authentication and authorization are two related but distinct concepts in cybersecurity. So authentication is about verifying identity, basically answering the question, who are you? Example, including logging in with a username and password, using biometric verification like fingerprints, or applying multi-factor authentication. Authorization happens after authentication, and it is about verifying permissions, answering what can you do. For examples would be file permissions, role based access control, or different privilege labels that determine what resource a user can access once they are logged in. So, a simple way to remember the difference is authentication is like checking your ID at the door, And authorization is like deciding which room in the building you are allowed to enter once you are inside. Simple, right? Next one, what is encryption? So, encryption is the process of converting readable data known as plain text into an unreadable format called ciphertext. So, ensures that even if someone intercepts the data, they can understand it without the proper decryption key. So only authorized parties with the correct key can convert it back into the original readable form. So no third party can understand what is written in the data. So there are two main types of encryption. One is symmetric encryption, so where the same key is used for both encryption and decryption. So this is for this a common example is AES. And asymmetric encryption, where a pair of keys is used, a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption. So a common example is RSA. Encryption is a widely used in secure communication, protecting data storage and securing online transaction like banking or e-commerce. And the next question is, what is firewall? So a firewall is a network security device that monitor and control incoming and outgoing traffic based on predefined security rules. It essentially act as barrier between trusted internal network and an untrusted external network, so like the internet, helping prevent unauthorized access. So there are several type of firewalls. So packet filtering firewalls, they inspect packet based on the IP address, ports, or protocols and allowed for block them accordingly. Stateful inspection firewall, so they track the state of the connections and make decision based on context, not just individual packets. Application layer firewall, so they look deeper into traffic at the application level, such as filtering HTTP or DNS request. And then we have next generation firewall. So next generation firewall, so these combine traditional firewall functions with advanced feature like intrusion prevention, deep packet inspection, and even threat intelligence. So in short, a firewall works as the first line of defense in the network security, deciding what traffic gets in or out and blocking anything suspicious. All right, so next one is malware. What is malware? So malware is a malicious software or piece of code that is made to mess up with your system, steal data, or sneak in without permission. So there are a bunch of types of malware. So viruses attached to program and spread. Worms are self-replicated malware that is spread across network. Trojans pretend to be legit software, but they are the stab you in the back. And ransomware lock your files and ask for money like a digital kidnapper. Spyware secretly stalk you. And also the adware, so adware just blast you with annoying ads. So in short, malware is like a group of villains in a cybercrime movie, each with their own evil speciality. What is phishing? So, phishing is a type of social engineering attack where attackers pretend to be a trusted organization like a bank or a service provider to trick people into giving up sensitive information such as username, password, or credit card number. It comes in many flavors like email phishing, so email phishing with fake malicious link, and spear phishing, so spear phishing target specific individuals. Whaling, so whaling going after executives or high profile targets or BIP users. Smishing uh, through SMS messages. Wishing over voice calls. So the best prevention is user awareness, strong email filters, and multi-factor authentication, because even if you click the wrong link, MFA can save the day. Next one that we have is, what is multi-factor authentication, MFA? So MFA or multi-factor authentication is basically an extra lock on your digital door. So instead of just one password, it asks for two or more proof to confirm it is really you. So it usually comes from three factors: something you know, like a password or pin or security question; something you have, like your phone, a token, or a smart card; something you are, like a fingerprint or facial recognition. The benefit is simple: even if a hacker steal your password, they can't get in without the other factor. So it is like a needing both a key and a fingerprint to open the same door, way harder to break in, right? And the next question is, what is VPN and how does it work? So, a VPN or virtual private network is like a secure tunnel between your device and the internet. So, it encrypts all your traffic and route it through a VPN server, which hide your real IP address and keep your browsing private. And here is how it works: your device connect to a VPN server, all your data gets encrypted, and the server then acts as a middleman between you and the website you visit. And there are two common types: site to site VPN, uh, VPN that connect entire network, and the remote access VPN that let individual users securely connect to a company's network. So in short, a VPN keeps you online activity private and make it much harder to attacker or even your ISP to snoop on what you are doing. Next one is, what is SQL injection? So SQL injection is a web vulnerability where an attacker tricks an application into running malicious SQL code by injecting it into input field like a login form or or any other input field. So this let them access or even modify the database. For example, if someone enter or 1 equal to 1 into a login field, the query might return all user bypassing authentication completely. So there are different types. In blind SQL, use the same channel to inject and retrieve data. In Ferencial blind SQL injection, so no direct output, but attacker infer information by observing response. Out of band SQL injection uses a different channel to exfiltrate data, and the best defense are parameterized queries, input validation, and applying the least privilege principle to the database. So next one is cross-site scripting. What is cross-site scripting? So cross-site scripting is a vulnerability or is like a prank where attackers sneak malicious script into a website, and when other people visit that site, the script runs in their browser. So basically the attacker runs or turns the website into their puppet. And there are few flavors available for cross-site scripting. So stored accesses, so the script is saved on the server, so everyone who visit gets hit. Reflected accesses, so the script bounce back from the server, like things like error message or search results. DOM based accesses, so the attack happens purely in client side code like JavaScript in the browser, and the impact can be nasty: hijacking session, stealing credential, defacing website, or even spreading malware. And what are the preventions? So things like validating input, encoding output, and setting a solid content security policy, CSP, so attacker can't just drop script into the site. What is hashing and how it is different from encryption? So hashing is a one-way process that takes input data and convert it into fixed size string called a hash. So it is irreversible by design, which makes it great for things like verifying data integrity, password storage, or digital signatures. So common algorithm include MD5 and SHA-256, and the key difference from encryption is hashing is one way, always the same fixed size output, and you can't get the original data back. So it is mainly for integrity verification. Encryption is two way, you can convert and encrypt and decrypt your data using keys, and the output size can vary, and it is used for confidentiality of data. Examples are AES and RSA. So in short, we can say hashing is for checking and encryption is for protecting. And the common use of hash like password storage, digital signature, and data integrity check. Next one is what is intrusion detection system, IDS. So an IDS or intrusion detection system is a security tool that monitor network traffic and system activities to detect malware or malicious activity or policy violation. And there are two type of IDS available: NIDS, network based IDS, which monitor traffic across the network, and HIDS. So HIDS like a host based IDS which monitor actively on individual system. So detection method, detection can be done in different ways: signature based, so it looks for known attack patterns; and anomaly based, so anomaly based look for the flag unusual activity compared to normal behavior; or hybrid, so hybrid is a mix of both. So difference between IDS and IPS: IDS only detect the alert and IPS can take preventive action too. So the key things to remember is IDS detect the alert while the IPS can actually block the attack. Next one we have what is social engineering. So social engineering is basically hacking people instead of computers. So it is when attacker use psychological trick to make someone hand over confidentiality info or do something that weakens security. So some common techniques are pretexting, that make up a story to gain trust; baiting, so baiting is leaving something tempting like a free USB, hoping someone plug it in the computer; quid pro quo, so quid pro quo, offering help or service in exchange for information; tailgating, so tailgating is literally walking in behind someone with access; authority impersonation, so it is pretending to be the boss of IT support. And the best prevention is security awareness training, verifying request, and following a zero trust approach. So in short, tech can be patched but people are the easiest target. Next one we have what is incident response. So incident response is an organized process for handling security breach or cyber attack. So the goal is to limit damage, reduce recovery time, and learn from the incident. According to the NIST incident response life cycle, the main phases are preparation, building the team, tool, and playbook; detection and analysis, like identifying and investigating incidents; containment, eradication, and recovery, so stopping the attack, removing it, and restoring systems; post incident activity, like reviewing what happened and improve defenses for futures. And the key players usually include the incident response team, uh, like security analyst, forensic specialist, and management, to ensure both technical and business impacts are addressed. All right, so next one we have what is difference between HTTPS and HTTP. So HTTP stand for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and it sends data in plain text, which make it vulnerable to eavesdropping or tampering. It is typically run on port number 80. And HTTPS or HTTP Secure add encryption using SSL and TLS, and this means the data is encrypted in transit and protecting confidentiality and integrity. So it runs on port number 443 and also provide server authentication. So the benefit of HTTPS include better security, user trust, and even the SEO advantage. So that little padlock icon in the browser is not just for show, it is a sign of connection is secure. Next one we have what is antivirus software. So antivirus software is basically your computer's bodyguard. It detect, block, and remove malware. It work in different ways, like signature based, so it checks against a database of known threats; heuristic or behavior based, spot suspicious activity; and also we have cloud based. So cloud based is more modern one that use cloud intelligence or machine learning for smarter detection. And uh, some most antivirus tools also give you a real-time protection, schedule scan, and automatic update, and can quarantine CD files. So think of it as like your 24 bar 7 security guard that never sleeps. Next, we have what is digital signature. So digital signature is like the online version of the handwritten signature. So it is more secure. So it use cryptography to prove three things: authentication, integrity, and non-repudiation. So it really came from the sender. And integrity, the message was not tampered with. And non-repudiation, the sender can't later say no, it was not me. So in practice, the sender create a hash of the message, encrypt it with their private key, and that become the signature. And the receiver just use the sender's public key and verify it. So it is basically a tamper proof way to seal and sign digital data. Next one, we have what is DDoS attack. So a DDoS attack is basically when a website get spammed with so much fake traffic from thousands of the device bots that real user can't get through. So think of it like a mob flooding or entrance of a shop, so customers can't walk in. So there are different flavors like volume based flood, like the huge amount of junk traffic, protocols attack, like messing with network handshake, like sync flood, ping of death, and application attack, like targeting HTTPS or HTTP flood with a specific app like HTTP flood and slow, low rees. And the mitigation strategies are like fight back. Companies uses things like rate limiting, traffic filtering, load balancer, CDN, or dedicated DDoS protection tools, and also the incident response planning. The next one, we have what is risk assessment in cybersecurity. So risk assessment in cybersecurity is all about figuring out what could go wrong, how bad it could be, and what to do about it. So first you list your key asset, then identify the potential vulnerabilities, and finally analyze the impact and develop mitigation strategies. A simple formula is threat multiply vulnerability multiply impact. So once you know the risk, you decide whether to accept, avoid, transfer, or mitigate them. So in short, it is like doing a safety check for your digital asset, so you're not caught off guard. All right, so next question is what is network segmentation? So network segmentation is like putting walls inside your house. So if a thief break into one room, they can't get just wander everywhere. So in cybersecurity, it means breaking a big network into a smaller segment using VLAN, subnet, or even physical separation. So the benefit you will get by segmentation, you shrink the attack surface, contain breach, or improve security monitoring, and even reduce congestion. And also you will ties into zero trust, never assume any part of the network is safe, and always verify. So zero trust architecture says never trust, always verify approach. So implementation method are physical segmentation, so it separates network hardware. Logical segmentation like VLAN and subnets used for segmentation. Virtual segmentation are software defined networks. Next one is what is pen testing. So penetration testing or pen testing is basically an authorized ethical hacking where we try to break into a system before the bad guys do. And think of it like hiring a burglar to test if your lock, alarm, and cameras actually work. So there are different flavored testing available: black box, white box, gray box. So black box, that we know nothing. In white box, we know everything, and in gray box, somewhere in between. So these three type of testing we have. And we have various phases like planning and reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining access, and analyzing and reporting. So the process usually goes through steps like reconnaissance, scanning, gaining, maybe maintaining access or testing persistent, and then reporting and findings. And of course, we are going to use tools like Kali Linux, Nmap, Burpsuit, Metasploit, or WASP-JAP to do the job. Next, we have what is principle of least privilege. So the principle of least privilege is all about giving users or systems only the access they need, nothing more, nothing less. For example, if someone just need to read a file, they should not have write or delete it. So it reduce the attack surface, limit damage if an account get compromised, and keep you in good shape for compliance. So basically, it is the no necessary key to the kingdom rule. Next one we have what is PKI, the public key infrastructure. So it is basically the backbone of online trust. It means and it manage digital certificates and keys so we can have secure communication and know who we are talking to. So it has key player like certificate authority, the trusted issuer, the registration authority, the verifier, and the digital certificates the that binds identities to public keys. And you will see PKI in action with HTTPS websites, email encryption, code signing, basically anywhere you need security and trust online. Next, we have what is digital forensics. So, digital forensic is like being a cyber detective. So, it is all about finding, preserving, and analyzing electronic evidence. So, it can stand up in court or help with an incident investigation. So, the process usually goes from identifying and collecting evidence, and then uh, analyzing it, and finally presenting the findings. So it can cover computer, network, mobile, even cloud environment. So basically, it is leaps, digital footprints, and forensics can trace it. All right. So next one we have what is advanced persistent threat, the APT. So advanced persistent threat or APT is basically the slow and sneaky type of cyber attack. So instead of smash and grab, attackers get in and they stay hidden for months or for 6 months and quietly move around the network stealing data. So they are usually well funded or state sponsored, and they go through phases like initial compromise, establish foothold, escalate privilege, privilege escalation, lateral movement, and then data exfiltration. So, from defending uh, to APT, you need strong monitoring, EDR, and proactive threat hunting. Next one, we have what is GDPR and its importance or impact on cybersecurity. So, GDPR is basically Europe's big data protection law that makes companies handle personal data more responsibly, or it gives people right like consent, data portability, and right to be forgotten. So there are key requirements like consent of the data processing, right to be forgotten, data portability, privacy by design, breach notification within 72 hours. And for cybersecurity, it means stronger encryption, tighter access control, quick breach reporting within 72 hours, and regular security check. And the catch here is like non-compliance can cost you up to $20 million or 4% of your global revenue. So organization take it very seriously. Then we have what is SIEM. So security information and event management is a security solution that combines SIM and SEM to provide real-time analysis of security incident, and it also correlate data from various data sources and give us a real-time alert. And the key function are log collection and aggregation, event correlation, real-time monitoring, incident detection, compliance reporting. And the benefits are basically without SIM you are blind, so with it you have got night vision goggles for your network. So it is like the benefits are centralized security monitoring, faster threat detection, improved incident response, compliance support, and forensic analysis capabilities. And next we have zero trust architecture. So zero trust is basically trust no one, not even yourself approach for security. So instead of giving blanket trust, it verify every user device and request every single time. So it uses least privilege segmentation and continuous monitoring, which make breaches harder to pull off and keep security tight. So the core principle is never trust, always verify, least privilege access, assume breach, verify explicitly, use least privilege access, and the implementation components are identity and access management, device security, network segmentation, data protection, continuous monitoring, and the benefits are reduced attack surface, improved compliance, and better security posture. Next one we have ransomware. So what is ransomware? Ransomware is a type of malware or malicious software that lock or encrypt a victim's file and then demand a ransom payment to restore the access. Uh, so, for example, we have various type like crypto ransomware that encrypt file, locker ransomware that lock system access, scareware that fake threat demanding payment, and doxware that threaten to publish sensitive data, and prevention like regular backup, software update, email security, user training, network segmentation is the prevention, and response don't pay ransom, isolate system and restore from backup. So isolating the environment and restoring from backup is the key here. So next one we have what is defense in depth. So defense in depth is a layered security strategy where multiple controls are put in place across different areas of IT environment. The idea is that if one layer fails, another will still provide protection. So here we have security layers, physical like facility security, hardware protection, perimeter firewall, DMJ, and network like IDS, IPS, network segmentation, endpoint, antivirus, endpoint protection, application layer, so secure coding, application firewall, data like encryption, access control, user training and awareness. So, for example, we might secure the perimeter with firewall, the network with IDS, IPS, and segmentation, and endpoint with antivirus, the applications with secure coding and WAFs, WAPs, and the data with encryption and access control. Even users are part of this strategy through training and awareness. And the main benefit of the resilience, no single point of failure, an attacker would need to bypass several independent layer, making a successful breach much harder. Next, we have what is SSL and TLS. So, SSL and TLS are cryptographic protocol that secure communication over network. So, they provide encryption, authentication, and data integrity, which is why they are the backbone of the HTTPS and many secure service like email and VPNs. So, the key feature are data encryption, server authentication, data integrity, and optional client authentication and handshake process is like client hello, then server hello and certificate, then key exchange, and then finished message. And versions that we have is like SSL 3.0, which is depreciated, TLS 1 and 1.1 also depreciated, and we are currently using the version TLS 1.2 and 1.3, and SS and TLS making sure your data is stay private and untampered. What is vulnerability assessment? So vulnerability assessments is the process of systematically identifying and prioritizing weakness in systems, application, and network before attacker can exploit them. So it can be done in different level like network assessment for infrastructure, host assessment for endpoints and servers, application assessment for web and mobile app, and even database assessment for checking the database security. And the typical process involve discovering asset, running the scans, and prioritizing vulnerabilities and tracking remediation. So tools like Nessus, OpenOS, Qualys, Tenable are the commonly used. And unlike pen testing, which simulate real-world attack, vulnerability assessment is more about finding and measuring weakness at scale. So next one we have security incident. So what is security incident? A security incident is any event that threatens the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of an organization information, system, or data. So the example includes malware infection, unauthorized access, data breach, insider threat, service disruption, or even physical breach. So incident are usually classified by severity, low, medium, and high. Uh, uh, so depending on their impact, so the response is always prioritized based on the business impact and risk label, so that critical incident get immediate attention. Next, we have what is DNS security and common DNS attack. So DNS security is all about keeping the domain name system safe, so user can reliably reach the website they want. And the common attacks, DNS attacks, are DNS poisoning, that like corrupt DNS cache with false information, DNS spoofing, like redirecting malicious site, DNS tunneling, like hiding malicious traffic in DNS queries, the long DNS queries, domain hijacking, like unauthorized domain control, DDoS or DNS, like overwhelm DNS server. So to protect against these, organization use DNS filtering, DNS security implementation, secure resolvers, and continuous monitoring. So in short, we can say it is like gardening the phone book of the internet. If it is compromised, everything else can go wrong. Next, what is business continuity planning, BCP? So, business continuity planning or BCP is all about making sure a company can keep running when something unexpected happens, whether that's a cyber attack, power outage, or even something crazy like a flood. So, there are key component of BCP. First one is risk assessment, so it identify all the potential threats to business, and then business impact analysis to assess all the critical functions, and then we have recovery strategies that develop responses plan and plan development for documentation procedure, and also the next one is testing and maintenance. So it is provide the regular updates. And what are the recovery objectives? So we can create recovery strategies like cloud backup, alternate office site, or remote work options. We also document everything in a clear plan. So two key metrics come into play: RTO, which is how quickly we need to recover, and RPO, which is uh, how we can afford to lose. So in short, BCP is like a survival kit that doesn't stop bad thing from happening, but it makes sure the show goes on even when they do. Next one is what is threat hunting. So threat hunting is basically playing cyber detective. Instead of waiting for alert to pop up, we proactively go looking for threat that may already be hidden inside the network. And it is very human driven, but also supported by tools, intelligence, and sometime machine learning. And so there are three main approach: hypothesis driven, investigation based, and machine learning assisted. And these are the process: hypothesis formation, data collection, analysis and investigation, response, mitigation, lesson learned. What tools and techniques? So we use a mix of tools: SIEM platform, threat intel feeds, indicator of compromise or IOCs, and behavior analysis techniques. So the real benefit is early detection, is so catching threats before they turn into incidents. So it reduces the attacker dwell time and overall strength the organization security posture. So we can say threat hunting is about not waiting to be attacked, but actively looking for sign that attackers are already in. Next one, we have what is difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption. So the main difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption is how the keys are used. So in symmetric encryption, the keys can be used for both encryption and decryption. It is very fast and efficient, which make it great for encrypting large amount of data. The big challenge, though, is key distribution. How do you securely share the secret key without someone intercepting it? So, classic example are AES, DES, and 3DES. And in asymmetric encryption, we use a key pair, a public key to encrypt and a private key to decrypt. So, this solves the key distribution problem, since the public key can be shared openly, and trade-off is that that's slower and usually used for smaller amount of data. So RSA, ECC, and DSA are the well known example. And also we have hybrid approach. So use asymmetric to exchange symmetric keys, then use symmetric to actual data encryption. Next question we have, what is EDR, endpoint and detection response? So EDR is basically a security solution that keep a constant eye on endpoint device like laptop, server, mobile device to detect and respond on threat in real time. So the key capabilities include continuous monitoring, threat detection, investigation of the incidents, automated response, and forensic analysis. So some standout features are behavior analysis and file and process monitoring, network traffic analysis, and even timeline reconstruction, which help investigators piece together exactly what happened during an attack and what are the benefits. So the real benefit of EDR is visibility and speed. So it help detect threat faster, reduce response time, and even automate containment like isolating a compromised endpoint before the attack or threat is spread. So in short, EDR act like a 24 bar 7 security camera and incident responder for endpoints. So it watching, analyzing, and stepping in when something goes wrong. And then we have what is security awareness training. So security awareness training is basically about educating users, employees, so they don't become the weakest link in the cybersecurity. So it helps people understand common risk like phishing, weak password, or social engineering activities, and teaches them how to adopt safe behavior and protect an organization. So the key topic we have password security, email security and phishing, social engineering, data handling, and incident reporting, and mobile device security. So the big payoff is building a human firewall so employees become more alert, incident reduce, and compliance requirement are met. And over time, you create a real-time security first culture inside the organization. And here are some training methods. So interactive online modules, simulated phishing campaigns, workshop and seminars, security newsletters, gamification. All right. What is network access control, NAC? So think of network access control, NAC, like a nightclub bouncer for your networks. So it check who is trying to get in, make sure you're on the guest list, confirm they are dressed properly, and then decide where they are allowed to hang out inside. So the key job of NAC is spotting device when they slow up and verifying who they are, enforcing rules, keeping an eye on them once they are in. So there are two ways to deploy uh, NAC. So pre-admission, no entry without passing checks, and post-admission, so you are in but still being watched. And what are the components? So components are NAC server, switches, Wi-Fi, controller, endpoint agent, and a policy control. And basically, NAC makes sure only the right people and device get in, and everyone follows the rule once inside. What is NIST cybersecurity framework? So NIST cybersecurity framework (CSF) is like a handy playbook for keeping your organization safe from cyber attack. And it is not mandatory, but it give a clear guideline and best practice to manage risk in a smart way. And there are five core functions like identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And also there are some implementation tiers uh, like partial, risk informed, repeatable, adaptive. So these are the implementation tier. And also benefit. So benefit is like risk management, compliance, communication, flexibility. Next one we have what is insider threat. So insider threat is basically when the danger comes from inside the house, people who already have legit access to your company system but end up putting it at risk. So type of insider, malicious insider that out to cause damage on purpose. uh, Negligent make mistake that open doors. Compromised that their account device get hijacked. And what are the risk indicators or red flag to watch for? So weird access pattern, stockpiling data they don't need, sudden attitude for behavior change, ignoring security rules, frustrated or uh, disgruntled employees. So how to defend against insider threat? So do background check before hiring, control who can access what, monitor activity, that is smart analytics, and train employee on the security awareness. So uh, it's like keeping an eye not just on strangers at the gate but also on the people already inside the house. Next one we have what is perfect forward secrecy. So perfect forward secrecy is like a making sure every secret conversation you have self uh, distracts once it is over. So here is the idea: even if someone steal the server's private key later, they still can't go back and read your past chats. So because each session had its own unique, trustworthy key. So how it work? So every session gets a fresh key. Key don't come from the server's long-term key. Once the session end, the key is tossed, and even if the master key leak, old conversation stay safe. And how it is done? So it is done using the ephemeral key exchange like DHE or E EDHE or temporary session keys or built-in forward secrecy protocol. And why it is awesome? Because this is stronger security. Past data stays private even if future keys are stolen, and help with compliance. Next one we have what is security orchestration, automation, and response. The SOAR tools. So SOAR tool is basically like having a super efficient security sidekick that connect all your tool, automate boring stuff, and help your team fight threats faster. And what are the core parts? So orchestration, all your security tools play nicely together. Automation, that repetitive task done automatically. Response like smooth structured incident handling. And why it is awesome and benefit: so faster reactions to attack, less manual grunt work, some process every time, teamwork better together, more accurate results. And common uses: so automate threat hunting, adding context to alert, running response playbooks, auto generating reports. So basically so is your SOC autopilot mode, letting human focus on the tricky stuff while the platform handle the heavy lifting. 46, what is software defined perimeter? So software defined perimeter is like giving your app an invisibility cloak, so nobody can even see them until the user is properly verified. So instead of putting the whole network behind one big lock like a VPN, SDP build tiny encrypted tunnels between each user and the specified app they need. And what are the core principles? So default is deny everywhere and authenticate before access. Connection are always encrypted. Access is app specific, not network wide. And what are the key pieces? So SDP controller, the brain that verify users, initiating host, the user's device, and accepting host, the app resource they're trying to reach. And why it is cool? So it shrink the attack surface, enable microsegmentation, built for zero trust and perfect for cloud environment. Next question is what is compliance in cybersecurity? So compliance in cybersecurity is basically following the rules of the cyber world, making sure your organization meet security standard law and policies set by regulators, industries, or even your own company. And the common standards you might bump into: ISO 27001. So this is related to info security management, SOX, which is related to financial report control, HIPAA, protecting healthcare data, PCI DSS, keeping credit card data safe, SOC 2, trust the service provider. And what are the benefit? So it cut down the risk, build customer trust, keep you legally safe, and improve efficiency, and also the give you some edge over competitors. But the challenges include high cost, tricky requirement, and fact that compliance is not a one and done. It need constant upkeep. 48, what is threat intelligence? So threat intel is like getting insider info on the bad guys before they make a move. So it is knowledge based or real evidence about current or emerging threats that help organization make smarter security decisions. So type of threat intelligence: strategic, so that's a big picture trend, great for executives; tactical one, so the attacker's playbook, the TTP, the technical one. So it's a concrete data like IP, domain, malware, hashes, etc. And also operational. So operational intel on a specific campaign and where it come from, paid commercial feeds, open source intels, OSINT, government advisories, industry sharing groups like ISACs, so your own internal analysis. So these are the main source. And what are the intelligence cycles? So direction, collection, processing, analysis, uh, dissemination, feedback. What is the user and entity behavior analytics, UEBA? So UEBA is like having an smart security guard that's uh, super smart. It learns from normal look like the user device and app, then raises a flag when something looks off. And how it works, so it build the behavior baseline, what is normal, what is not normal, and spot anomalies using machine learning, and also assign risk score to the suspicious activity, profile user device and entities over time. And what it is great for, so it catching insider threats, spotting account takeovers, preventing data leaks, detecting privilege misuses, and stopping lateral movement inside the network. And why it is awesome, so it find threat early, cut down false alarms, and automate heavy analysis and give context, so alert actually makes sense. So next one, what is DevSecOps? So DevSecOps is like DevOps with a security upgrade. So it bakes security right into the software development process instead of tackling it on the end. So everyone, DevOps, operations, and security share responsibility for keeping apps safe. So what are the core principles? Shift left. So it catch issues early in the development. Continue security. So it's an ongoing check, not one-time audit. Automation and integration, so security tools built on CI/CD pipelines, collaboration and communication. So team work together, not in silos. Monitoring and feedback, so it always improving. And what are the common practice? So we have SAST and DAST, scan code before it run and test app while they are running. And also dependency scanning, so dependency scanning, spot risky libraries and infra as a code security. So that secure configurations and cloud infra. Also, we have container securities that protect Docker and Kubernetes environment. And why it is awesome? So it's faster, fix fewer bugs later, and it is cheaper. Cut down vulnerabilities. Team actually collaborate better. So these are the benefits. Next one, what is supply chain attack? So supply chain attack is when hacker don't hit you directly. Instead, they go after your vendor, supplier, or software dependencies and sneak in through the back door you already trust. How they break in? So they slip malware into software update. They plant malicious hardware component, hack third-party services, poison open source libraries, breach vendor system, and write the trust web. And the famous cases that we have is the SolarWind one, SolarWind Orion. So attackers inserted malware into legit update, and the next one is Target. So hacked through the HBAC vendor, NotPetya. So NotPetya is spread via compromised accounting software. And how to defend. So uh, do through vendor risk assessment, use software composition analysis to check dependencies, verify update with code signing, apply network segmentation to limit the network blast or blast radius, continuous monitoring the third party libraries. And the final question, what is cyber threat modeling? So cyber threat modeling is like drawing up a battle plan before the fight. So it is a structured way to fight out where attackers could strike, how bad it would be, and how to defend against it. So there are popular methodologies like stride, spot, threats like spoofing, tampering, repudiation, info disclosure, DOS, privilege escalation, etc. And then we have PASTA. So PASTA is a risk-focused method simulating real-world attacks. And also we have VAST. So VAST, visual, agile, and simple, great for scaling across teams. And the process steps are defined and scope the goals, map out the system overview, identify threats, and weak point, and analyze the rank risk, plan countermeasure, and also validate and improve the cycle. So why it is matter? uh, so it is stop threat before they happen, and also help team make smarter decisions, and save money by fixing early instead of post breach. So in short, we can say threat modeling equal to thinking like a hacker before the hacker does. All right, friends, so that's all for this video. Thank you so much. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.